Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend. Welcome to the Mandala Effect. My name is Roseanna and I am your host. You will have to excuse me this week because I am sick. I have a cold, and it's a cold that I have been resisting allowing into my life since before Christmas now. So it's been coming on and off for 6 weeks, and it is frustrating because I just want to be well. There's part of me that goes, for fuck's sake, I've had my fair share of illness, so why do I need to be given more? And it's only a cold, but it still affects us, doesn't it? It still can affect physical health, obviously. I spent yesterday in bed. It can affect mental health. It can affect what we are doing in our day to day, and it can be really painful. But I have had a bit of a realization and a bit of a new thought process around it, and it's always been I've sort of known this, but the realization happens when it actually sinks into your body, into your mind, into your body. You create a new neural pathway. And so I want to speak about the truth about illness and about health, and why we're given illness and how we can appreciate our health more. As many of you know, when I was really sick, I was given a huge wake-up call to appreciate my health, and I went through 4 months, should have been 5 months of chemo. I had massive surgery. I had a double mastectomy and a reconstruction, so huge surgery. I was out of action. It's only now really I'm starting to see my physical strength come back, which is amazing, and which is why it really adds to the frustration that I am sick and that since before Christmas I've sort of been trying to I've sort of been getting a little bit ill for a couple of days, and then it goes and then it comes back, and then but in the work that I do, in the people I know, the people I speak to, the people I follow, I've learned some new stuff about health and about sickness, and what it is actually trying to show us, but also by asking the questions of myself and of my own body and of my own entire being, and I have learned some stuff that I would like to share with you. So first and foremost, a illness, a really great way to see it is that it's a wake-up call from your body. It is your body trying to communicate with you. It is your body saying, hold on, something's not right here, something's not in alignment, we're not in alignment, why are you neglecting me? Often I used to get sick, and I don't know if you can relate, after, that I'd have a holiday or a heavy weekend, and there'd be lots of alcohol, and Christmas is a great example. Lots of alcohol, lots of not really great for you foods, lots of socializing, lots of partying, and then get really run down, and then you'd get sick from that. So you'd have like this great time, and then you'd be sick because you've been neglecting your body. If you've been through a period at work where you work, and then you stop, you go on holiday and you get sick on the holiday, it's because you've been neglecting your body and neglecting your health. So the first chance your body gets to stop, it's going to be ill because it needs to re-regulate itself. So some really important questions to ask when you are facing illness is like, what's not right in my life, in my body, and that could be a piece of work that you're doing that is not aligned with you. It could be a relationship that you're in that is not aligned with you. It could just simply be that you're not eating foods that are aligned with where you are and where you want to go. So your body will tell you, like, my body is telling me, Roseanna, something isn't right, we need to change something. So what's out of alignment? Think about the person you want to be. Think about the person who you are becoming. What is happening in your life that is not in alignment with that? And how can you just a tiny little bit get yourself in more alignment with that? Where am I neglecting myself? I think this is a really big one, because health, we take our health for granted until it's taken away from us. We take our movement for granted until it's taken away from us. I know so many people who don't look after their health because they don't feel that they have to. They haven't seen the other end of the spectrum, where you really are ill and you can't get out of bed, and they may have seen other people go through it, but just watching somebody else go through it doesn't mean that they're going to make the change. So where am I neglecting myself? Am I eating the right foods? Am I drinking enough water? Am I in an energy that is going to support me? Am I working on my energy? Am I working on kind of being my truest self, being my most powerful self? Am I staying in victim mentality, or am I here to be the creator of my life? Because that's neglect as well. When you're not taking responsibility for your life, that is a neglect of the life that you have been given. And what is underneath the illness? So what is there underneath it? Let's think about this. Am I doing something I don't want to do? Am I changing a story? Am I letting something go? Sometimes illness can be a purging, a letting go, a detoxing, and this is where I've come to with my own illness this time. I'll get onto that in a minute. But what is underneath the illness? So different questions will land differently for you. It's really important, I think, at a time like this, to journal, to write, to ask yourself these questions, to get silent, to connect with your energy and your body, and connect with all that is, connect with source, and you'll be given the answers. If you ask and you listen, you'll be given the answers, and then you might find something that will support you. So it just so happens that yesterday I had a massage booked in, a massage and Reiki booked in, and I knew that was exactly what my body needed. When I woke up yesterday, I just thought, how divine is that I have booked in this massage that is just going to help me flush out my system, detox my body more, and support my body, allow my body to rest and recover. And it was the best thing I could have possibly done. But I also thought, so I'm unsure, and if anybody listening to this kind of knows any hormone experts, I'd really love to know. Please get in touch with me, because I'm unsure whether my body's going through menopause or not. It's like my skin shows a teenage skin that I have some bad kind of spots on my face that I used to get as a teenager, and I'm 32 now, but my ovaries were shut down, so now that I don't know if they're rebooting or going through menopause, because I'm also having menopause symptoms. So I have this, and then I was doing some research yesterday while I was sick about what could help me rebuild my immune system, because also my immune system was massively knocked, and my liver would have been really, with the chemotherapy, my liver would have been really working overtime to try and flush my body of chemo. And I thought that would have regulated itself by now, but I guess toxins like this have lasting damage. So I was doing some research, and I found this incredible guy that, and you may have heard of him, the medical medium, and I've ordered one of his books, and I'm going to try one of his cleansers, because I know that I need to support my liver, but I was support my liver, support my immune system. And actually it's when we have a low immune system that the acne comes out, and when we have a low immune system that we get sick. So there's something not quite balanced, but I asked the questions and I was sent the information yesterday. And it, you can't really write this stuff. It just happened. It was divine. It was a miracle. And being presented with this now is going to help me support my health going forward. And I knew, even though I spent yesterday in bed, I knew that I would wake up today feeling refreshed, feeling revitalized. I still have symptoms of a cold and I probably still need to rest today, but I will rest today, but I knew that I would feel better. So everything in our 3D reality has a polarity. So we have light and dark, we have good and bad, we have positive and negative. This is how we manifest, this is how we attract things to us, this is our electromagnetic field. But I want to just touch on the polarity of health and illness, health and sickness. So most people will never feel true health until they have had it taken away from them. And I know this to be true, and I wish it wasn't. I wish that people could experience their fullest health now. And it's not just physical health, it's mental health. It's, you could be running marathons as I was. You could look extremely healthy on the outside, but on the inside you could be in so much pain and suffering. Like that's not healthy. So it's not just about eating well, exercising well. It's about being mentally well, doing meditation, listening to your intuition, living a life in alignment, living a life as a powerful creator rather than as the victim. So most people don't ever really experience this until it's taken away from them. And I've watched a really interesting video this morning about spiritual awakening, and Aaron Abke, who I was watching, was asked if it's possible to experience a spiritual awakening without the dark night of the soul. And he said, no, not really, maybe in some instances, but that's the exception, because we have to have the polarity of the dark night of the soul to experience the full magic of a spiritual awakening. And I say magic lightly, a spiritual awakening can be painful as well, because we have faced resistance, but from the ego. But it's the same with health and sickness. Can somebody ever, like when I go for a run now, I experience freedom, whereas when I used to go for a run 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, I have to train, I'm training. It's a very, very different feeling. So now when I'm exercising, when I'm learning to climb up the silks at aerial, or when I'm going through my vinyasa flow at yoga, I am doing it from a place of health and gratitude that I have a strong, able, fit, well body. And I'm not doing it because I need to be a size 8, because if I don't do this, I'm going to be fat. If I don't do this, I'm going to look horrible. Nobody will love me. I'll be on my own forever. It's basically the thought pattern of most people when they exercise. But and I did have my health taken away from me, and I've sort of, while I've been a bit ill this time, I'm like, did I not learn the lesson about illness? But did I not learn the lesson about illness that I should be more grateful for my health? And I know this isn't true. I'm very, very, very grateful for my health. And then this brings me nicely onto what else could be causing your illness. So resistance. Resistance is huge. It's unconscious. It is the ego. It is your ego mind putting kind of something in your way to stop you doing the things that you are trying to do. So if you are making moves towards your best life, if you are making changes in your life, if you are growing and evolving, the ego gets scared. So the ego doesn't like change. So the ego will throw something in your way that is going to that is going to knock you off course. So I'm making moves, I'm doing big stuff. And so the ego could be trying to knock me by saying, oh no, you're ill, let's it's scared, so it's trying to put something in my way to keep me back, keep me small, keep me in the small self, and under the illusion that I am a victim and that I am not powerful. So this, I heard an example of this where a lady was about to attend a really, really big event that was going to change her life, and she knew it, but her ego got scared and she ended up like breaking her leg and couldn't go to the event. But it all worked itself out, because these things do. And she was aware, because this is what the event was teaching her. But apparently for this particular event, this happens quite a lot. When people start to make a big change, something will come into their life that tries to knock them off course. This is where the saying, feel the fear and do it anyway, is really useful, because feel the fear, love the fear, appreciate the fear, understand that your ego is scared. Your ego is like the little girl that is scared to go to the first day of school. So, it's uncomfortable. The unknown is uncomfortable. But if we feel the fear, love the fear, accept the fear, and then move forward anyway, eventually we learn to transcend the fear, and the resistance will slow and will not knock you off as much. We find a way to make things happen, whether there's resistance there or not. So an illness, an ailment could be your ego's way of trying to just knock you off course slightly. So it's always important, hold the vision, feel the fear, do it anyway, trust the process. The other thing, so what I'm recognizing in my own body at the moment is a detoxing and a purging. So when you are ill and when you are experiencing a cold or some form of acute illness, it could be your body realigning itself. It's letting go of something. It's purging something. So with a cold, you can get sweats. You can get, you're blowing your nose a lot, phlegm, coughing. Your body's trying to get something out. Another way of purging is vomiting, being sick. I had a really, really, really weird instance a few months ago where I wasn't ill at all, but I was sick, and it came out of nowhere. But it was at a time when I was deeply uncomfortable because I was making changes, and it was a purging, a releasing of an old story. And another way of purging is crying. Crying releases trauma, releases energy, and releases stuck energy. So illness, vomiting, crying is all a way of releasing something. So at the moment, I feel my body is detoxing. It is recalibrating, because I am letting go of the old story of who I was. I am letting go of the victim consciousness, and I'm stepping into something higher. And so this is and so when we do this, our body, our system, so our body, our computer system, needs to realign itself with the person that you are becoming energetically. So the system of the body needs to change and recalibrate, and that's just what it's doing. And I feel this is what my body is doing with this cold. It's realigning, and I need to surrender and let that happen. So I need to surrender and let this illness be, and spend my time in bed and do what my body calls for me to do. Research new ways of keeping myself healthy. Help my body to support my body in the best way possible, and allow the detox, allow the shift, allow the recalibration. And before I know it, it'll be over. But that, it's also about acceptance, and accepting and loving exactly where I am, because exactly where I am is where I'm supposed to be. I hope that this is resonating with you, because, you know, we all experience illness, and it's so easy to pass it off with, oh, there's just something going around. There's, you know, oh, everybody's got a cold at the minute. You know, we've had the prime example over the last couple of years. But if you look at that as a whole, well, we've just stepped into a new paradigm. The consciousness of the earth is evolving, so it has to release what isn't serving us anymore. So we could look at what has happened in that way. And my most important point for this is that illness is always happening for you. It is always happening for you. It is moving the stuff out of your way that isn't serving you anymore. It is a recalibration. It is showing you something. If you ask your body, if you ask your mind, if you ask your ego, what are you afraid of? It's okay, darling, I've got you. You don't need to be scared. And, you know, everything in life is always happening for you. Do you live in a friendly universe or a hostile universe? There are two very different ways of looking at the life that you are living. Am I powerful, or do I believe I'm powerless? And if I am powerful, then this is happening for me. This illness is happening for me, and of course I'm going to get through it. It's a cold, but cancer, prime example. I had cancer. I didn't, you know, at no point did I think I was going to die, no matter what the statistics said. And I could see right from the very beginning that this was happening for me. I have a very different belief on that now than when I first started going through cancer. But I could see that it was happening for me. It was just a massive crumbling of my life, because I was headed in the wrong direction. I was headed in the direction of what my ego thought it needed. And now God, this sounds so cheesy. I came back to a place of love rather than fear. And that recalibrated my whole life. So, you know, illness, no matter the severity, no matter what it is that you're going through, trust that it is always happening for you. Everything in this life is happening for you, even if it doesn't appear so at the time. How can you ask yourself, how can you believe, how can you understand that this is all happening for you? Just question everything. And if you didn't watch last week's podcast, go and have a listen, because I spoke about questioning everything and shifting your beliefs and your fears, and it's all related, it's all connected. So if you are ill, if you're sick, well done, because something big's happening in your life. It means you're doing something. And so, you know, it's happening for you. It's going to get better. Everything is going to be okay. And with that, I am going to leave you, because I need some water. I need to sit down, even though I'm already sat down. And I will love you and leave you. So if you are facing resistance in your life, then you can book a complimentary 20-minute call with me in the description below, and we can have a chat about the resistance that you're facing and where you want to go, and how I can support you as a spiritual life coach to move forward and to begin consciously creating your life. And if you're watching this in February of 2023, I have an amazing special offer on as well, which is like a mini self-love journey. And it will take you through getting to know every aspect of yourself, your entire self, so that you can act from your true self. You can step into the powerful creator that you are. Self-love is not the bubble bath. It is not buying yourself flowers. It is so much deeper than that. And the self-love that you're shown on Instagram is the start. Absolutely. It's a great start to buy yourself flowers and to look yourself in the eye and tell yourself that you love yourself. But let's go one step deeper. If you really want to see magic in your life, you have to fall in love with yourself, fall in love with your life, and I can help you do that. So the link for the offer is in the description below, and I hope to see you soon.